What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of
Thoughts Higher Than Mine. This is where we identify and overcome self-sabotage and poisonous thinking, the things that stop us from unlocking the greatness within.
So the goal of this episode is to take you from point A to point B and go from step 1 to step 2.
We'll see you in the comments after to see what's the next step you're going to take.
So today's topic is something that's near and dear to our hearts, and I feel like everyone over the age of 18 is going through it right now.
And sometimes even under the age of 18. But
that topic is adulting.
My goodness, I feel like that's a mouthful. So let me ask you, at what point or at what age did you feel like, okay, you know what, I'm actually officially adulting?
I want to say the age of 20. Because that's when I had to get the cell phone bill in my own name.
Ooh, bills. You said bills? Don't curse at me like that.
Okay, listen. Woo.
Wow. I would say, man, adulting, feeling like I was adulting probably started around like 17 or 18.
Why would you say that?
I remember getting my first job as a counselor at an elementary school, and I was still in high school. And there was a whole thing going on between myself and my parents. And anyways, I was just very bent on, I don't know if it was just offense or whatever, or they were offended about something. And I was just like, I don't want to ask them for any money for anything. Which, you know, like I was still living at home, but I guess above shelter, maybe food and water, which again, my parents were wonderful. The only reason why I was able to do this is because they raised myself and my brother very independently. You know, but besides the fact, that's the first time I was like, okay, let me go ahead and purchase this. Or I remember I paid for senior dues and things of that nature and whatnot. So I was just really learning how to move in the world even before I started college. So yeah.
Yeah, I know for me, when one of the first jobs I was able to get was actually working at the college that I went to. And if you guys ever worked for the CUNY system, like work study or, you know, a CLT or something like that. But anyway, those who work for the CUNY system, you understand the pressures and the annoyances of the timesheets.
Oh man, geez Louise. So, I mean, for those of you guys who don't know, we're actually based out in New York. So, I remember one time losing a timesheet. This is on the journey of adulthood, right? And they were just like, I'm so sorry, we're not gonna be able to pay you this week until you go back to, I think I was like companionship or something like that, the patient and get the signatures. And I'm like, I don't even work with that patient anymore. So it's like you're thinking in your mind like all the responsibilities that you have coming that are dependent on that check, and now that check is being blocked. So that was pressure.
Yeah, I know for me, one of the major pressures is that, you know, the timesheets were submitted, but they still didn't pay you the correct amount. So I was best friends with the HR person at the college, and she looked at me, she was like, oh, Steve, we're so sorry, we're going to rectify it. It's going to take us a few weeks, but you'll eventually get your money.
A few weeks. Did you still have to keep coming to work in between the time?
Oh, of course I did.
Yeah.
That didn't stop, and you never guess who's going to take out their money tomorrow. Boost Mobile. They weren't waiting until next week. Whew.
Yeah, so that's definitely, I guess, a part of adulting that you have to adjust to. And this is great because in this season we have a lot of new graduates, either new high school graduates or new college graduates. So shout outs to you guys who have gotten your degrees or your diplomas and are about to embark into this journey of a new level of responsibility in a sense. So Yeah. Oh my goodness. What so far has been your least favorite part of adulting, and what has been your favorite part of adulting?
Bills.
Which one would that be?
Despise them.
Oh, okay.
It's the worst part, and especially you know it's real when direct deposit hits at 4 in the morning, but then AT&T takes out at 7 in the morning before you get up, so you act like you didn't even get paid.
You didn't get to smell the
You
money.
didn't even get to smell it. You already took it. At all.
You didn't get to smell the money.
Yeah, not at all.
We didn't even see the full balance.
Yeah, you didn't even get the notification that the deposit was in the bank yet, because they already took it out. But the best thing about adulting, from my experience, God has graced me with a beautiful wife, with 2 smiling boys. They eat up all the food. But anyway, just knowing and learning and growing to be able to help them do better, or to learn and grow with my wife. Best part of adulting. It makes the bills worth it.
Aw, you're so sweet. Oh my gosh. It's interesting. I feel like bills are annoying, but the bills you have, they say a lot about you. Follow me here. This is a part of adulting that I've learned. There are maintenance bills, and then there are self-inflicted bills. And I believe that as an adult, what you do with money, which I know at some point we're going to have a Thoughts Higher Than Mine episode on finance, money, management, stewardship. But what you do with money, especially as a young adult, it sets a foundation, almost like an internal blueprint for how you handle money for a very large part of you being an adult, a young adult to mid-age adult. And I realized something when we were in the season of getting married, when we sat down with each other and we kind of did a financial biopsy, if you will, to learn each other's habits. And there was so much to learn. So you will see that there is the high schooler that will get their first job, that will save every penny they make towards something they want. Then you will see the high schooler who gets their first job and has 300 different ideas of how to spend the money. And in the how to spend the money bracket, there's responsible spending, and there is, I finally got some money to do what I want to do, spending money. And each of them affect their journey differently. So yeah, I've actually enjoyed seeing how I handle money as an adult. And my mom told me as a child that I was the frugal child. She would give myself and my older brother similar amounts of money. And it would be like, okay, well, let's see what Pat's going to do with it. And let's see what, my brother's going to do with it. And she would notice that I would not always go and spend in the corner store. I didn't always buy the Swedish Fish. I didn't always buy the Laffy Taffy. We're 90s babies. But it would be that she noticed I would wait. I would save it until I wanted this big lollipop or this big candy that wasn't just 25 cents. And she said that she knew that she wouldn't have to worry about me and finances as an adult. So it's been very interesting to just kind of see that. So I have a different emotion about bills. They can be pressure sometimes. They can be overbearing sometimes. But I feel like if your mindset is, I'm going to figure out how to take care of this, it takes a lot of the pressure off because you kind of have that internal trust in yourself already. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. My experience was not so gracious. I was the, I got paid $2. That corner store is seeing me, and so the school that I went to, we didn't have lunch inside, but on the outside on the street, you have so many different stores, Chinese food stores and pizza places. And so y'all see what happened to me, right? And Jesus. So we would get the Chinese food, right? So we'll never forget, we'll get the General Tso chicken. If y'all know, y'all know.
TSO.
And then we'll go to the pizza parlor And the slices back then was only like $1.25. Can you imagine?
Best pizza in your life.
What? And so we'll get both items, right? And then we'll make our own General Soul pizza slice. We'll just put the meat.
Are you serious? You never told me this.
And then we'll put the stuff on top. And y'all see the way I'm rolling out, right? And so
you go home, bro.
Man, that's it.
So when was your next check, or when was the next time you would expect money?
So the way that the system's supposed to work is every 2 weeks. It didn't always work out that way. That's how it's supposed to work. And that's when I realized, just like, Steve, you got to start putting some rainy day money away, because if you know the CUNY system is not that reliable, you can't be caught slipping out here. Like, even wait, so, Pat, you brought up the awesome memory of the financial biopsy. I was the vending machine guy. Do you remember the Texas honey buns, that come in the purple pack? They were popping in the mic.
That's it.
That joint was $2.50 a pop. You know what I mean? And so when you're looking at the statements, you just see $2.50, $2.50, $5, $2.50, $2.50.
Oh, one day you got fancy, you got two?
Oh yeah, what? I just got paid that day, so I treated myself.
Oh my gosh! So all right. So to transition, now that we identified, so that actually is an obstacle, right? To have someone who is fresh out of high school, fresh out of college, and has already established this, everything I make, I spend. How would you say that gets in the way of their progress as a fresh graduate?
What you don't know will come back and bite you. And whatever foundation you set, that's what you're going to build upon, right? So scripture talks about if your foundation is built on the sand, when the storms of life come,
you don't sing, baby.
You're
gonna be slipping and sliding.
Slipping and sliding. Woo-wee. All right. And so the having a bad financial foundation from young will. And so it took a while, at least for me personally, to kind of rebound from that, because it starts with the mentality, right? If you get money, you have to spend it right away. That's a mentality versus, okay, you got, if I just get paid, make sure you pay your tithes, people. Make sure you pay your tithes. But then with that 90%, okay, how can I divvy it up to have the money work for me instead of me always working for it and feel like I don't have any?
Wow.
Right? And so that was a hard lesson to learn, especially, we got married,
so you see what I'm saying? Wow. So basically what you're saying is that was established from young, then it went into your high school years, then it went into your college years. And so this means that along the way, nobody caught this habit, right? Nobody caught this mentality. And then it followed you into marriage. And then here, right? So you marry someone who's in a sense opposite. Whew. Right? And so when you got married, and when we're talking about the leadership on the end of a husband, of a father and whatnot, what were some of those the doubting thoughts and poisonous thinking that came into play when now you're responsible financially for other people? Not to say that your partner, myself, right, is not contributing, but in your mind, just as a man, I know that there's this pressure to just show up in all the ways financially and have that's on the chest, right? So what are some of the things that you found were self-sabotaging and poisonous thinking when it came to your personal finance inside of our marriage?
I think one thing I had to work through is learning not to be selfish, because you're taking the one person that used to spend their money how they want to, and now you placed him in a position where he's now responsible that if he spent his money the same way, it's going to affect the people around him. And so a poisonous thought or self-sabotaging thought is just like, yo, this is my money. Like, I work hard for, if I want to buy me a honey bun.
Or 2 pairs of Jordans at one time.
I see, wait a minute. Stick with what? You're going for blood right? I should be able to do that. But now knowing that, you can't do that anymore, right? Like you have your parents is not paying your rent.
Oh, you can, but there would be repercussions.
Oh
galore.
Yeah, the galore. Like the lights will get turned off, right? The landlord's getting ready to drag you out of the house. You know what I mean? Because rent's not paid, and so that is something you have to adjust quickly. Just like, okay, my money is no longer my own. It's part of a collective unit, and it's for the betterment of the unit versus just the betterment of me. And also switching the mindset, saying that, okay, I'm not wasting my money, I'm investing it into the betterment of my household.
Right. So how would you say you practically got to that mentality? Practically. Like, so of course we're going to be reaching quite a few people, and both young and old, whereas it might not be a high school graduate, it might not be a college graduate, it might be a doctorate graduate, right? Who took the plunge, invested in it, did not think about all the things, and now has these massive responsibilities to pay back, loans to pay back, or that husband who never had community or mentorship, or that wife who has a hardworking husband who thinks that she's entitled to wasting his money, right? So what are some practical things that you did along the journey to get you to the place where you understand now you're standing on like solid ground financially with the right blueprint and the right mentality?
So this is a PSA to all men out there. There's nothing wrong with seeking wise counsel.
Get you some help, brother.
Get you some help.
Some advice.
Because the most poisonous thought that you could ever have as a guy is that you have to figure it out by yourself.
Oh my goodness.
And that's really not the truth. And you're doing more harm to yourself than good when you try to figure out something that you just don't know. And it is okay. Ooh. It's okay not to know. It's not okay to not find out. You know what I mean?
Can you repeat that again, please?
I don't remember. All right, so it's not okay. It's okay not to know, but it's not okay not to find out, right? And so while getting married, we had wonderful counselors that sat us down, that laid it out straight for us, and then once you put your concerns in the hand of Christ, then He will open up doors for you to be able to find out what you're lacking in.
Right.
Right. And so
I don't want to cut your thought off, but what encouraged you to walk through the open door? God can send help, but we have to get those feet moving, baby. So it's like,
so it also,
especially as a man with that, what do you call that? The
bravado.
Man pride.
Bravado. Ooh. Oh.
So how did you overcome that? Because that's also self-sabotage, in my opinion.
But it all starts with a choice. If you have to decide that you want to do better. You have to decide that you want to be better. And once you make that choice and you're serious about that choice, then the doors will open for you to carry out that choice. Right? And so God knows the intent of the heart. He knows when you're praying just to pray. Right? Scripture talks about it. Like, don't be like the people on the synagogues just yelling at the top of their lungs.
Just to be seen
by men. But He's going to honor the prayer that's done in secret while you're in your closet. Or maybe as a guy, they tell guys are not supposed to cry. But I'm pretty sure there's some men out here that's chilling in the bathroom and people thinking that they're on their phone. But they're stressing and tears are coming down their face because they just don't know what to do, right? And so it all starts with a choice to do better. Once the choice happens, the door will open, and it's gonna take humility for you to walk through that door, because it's not gonna be an easy conversation.
Humility,
right? So if we're really being honest, that's 4 years of high school, right? Theoretically, and generally 4 years of college. That means that you've been set in your ways financially for at least 8 years. You cannot expect for it to change overnight. Right? Even when it's kind of like building a house. When you're building the foundation, it takes some time. You have to dig out the ground. You have to make sure everything is level. You have to tape everything off. Then you got to do the concrete. Then the cinder blocks. Then you got to make sure that that's leveled off, right?
Cinder blocks?
That's what I said.
The cinder blocks? Sorry, that's my job to catch you.
Right.
So anyway.
And so it takes time to build a foundation. And now imagine if a house got damaged in a storm and they have to they have to demolish the house and demolish the foundation. They're gonna have to take down brick by brick that home. Then they're gonna have to dig up the foundation that was rotten at the bottom and then start the process over. So that doesn't take a day. Right? And so being okay with knowing that it's a process. Like, it's okay to go through a process, right? Just don't get stuck in the process.
Adults. So
Adulting.
What I'm getting is that adulting is a process. We are still in the process of adulting. We are by no means experts in this thing. And I'm pretty sure that there are some people who are going to be in the comments just blessing us with some wisdom. And we encourage that. So, wow, I feel like this is definitely something that we are going to revisit. This topic is so vast because adulting comprises so many different subsets. And
So if this topic has been a blessing to you guys, we encourage you to like, comment, share. Please subscribe. We want to reach as many people. We want to reach as many people as possible. And if this is a conversation you want us to continue, put it on the chat. It's like, hey, we need a part 2. We need a sequel to this because adulting is adulting, right? And so we thank you guys. Hopefully, and before I get there, remember
we got a commitment.
That's right.
We have a commitment.
So for everyone that's going through this process of adulting, put it in the comments. Like, all right, what is step A for you? What is step B looking like? What is point A looking like? What's point B looking like?
Like, what's one area in your adulting? This could be how much money you're spending on outside food when you just went grocery shopping, but it's giving procrastination and laziness. No, we're going to come for you the next time we revisit this topic.
Love my Burger King. Yes, God.
Or it could be something that's not financial. It could be that you maybe were the eldest sibling and you had to take care of everyone, and now you're on a journey of self-care. Maybe you were the middle child, always found yourself ignored. Maybe you were the last child and you were a little bit spoiled. Now you gotta gain a little backbone. So, all of these things are needed. The character is what is the most expensive thing we have to pay for in adulting. That's what we have to build, is a character that can sustain us to go towards what destiny looks like for us. So what's your next step? What's your first step? What are you struggling with? And if you have any ideas or any other things that you want us to treat, and we can add some thoughts that are higher than ours, that comes from scripture, that comes from life experience, that comes from, literature, things that we've been trained by and are continually being trained by. We could definitely do an episode on that. So
thank you guys for your time. Thank you for joining us. And stay tuned for the next episode of Thoughts Higher Than Mine.